So I have to defend Wonder Woman 84 a little bit because this is not a problem that this movie has. But of course, give it to CBR.com to run in and start trying to swing on this movie for some really stupid reasons, by the way. But that's what they do. Them and Screen Rant, Mary Sue, all these websites, they just jump in and look for problems where there's not really any problems because, well, you're not allowed to do anything fun ever in entertainment anymore. Now they're going after probably one of the best scenes in the movie, which is paying tribute to the Indiana Jones. So if you've ever seen in Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Indy is trying to take down kind of an armored caravan, they do the same thing in this. And it's obviously kind of inspired by that. No one really talks about that because the movie is such a mess that it's hard to give the stuff in the movie a lot of positive nods. But this was a pretty good action scene, especially when you take in account that she wasn't trying to let anybody die. Nobody, I guess, dies in the whole movie. I didn't really pay attention to it that much, but she saves everybody. She never takes anybody out, which I guess is, something. I read in this article that Patty Jenkins says, Wonder Woman's just not aggressive. That's why she doesn't carry her sword and shield. And I'm thinking, I don't know if that's quite accurate. I remember in Batman's contingency plans to take down the Justice League, like one of the ways that he had set up to defeat Wonder Woman was to lock her in like a hallucination where she's fighting somebody of equal strength nonstop and she can't beat them up. So she won't stop fighting them. Like she gets into like a battle lust until she pretty much like dies from exhaustion of fighting this person. It's like a never-ending battle. So yeah, I'm sure she's not aggressive. Okay. It seems it's a dumb reason for her not to have a sword and shield. They purposely dropped that because they don't want her to come off as aggressive. But whatever, that's not the point. The point here is that now the movie is racist. Because, there's a scene in the movie where she goes to Cairo, Egypt, and beats up a bunch of, I would say, Middle Eastern people. And because of that, because in the Indiana Jones movies, Indiana is fighting the Nazis, and because of that, it's not problematic. But because she's now in Egypt and fighting Middle Eastern people, it is not problematic, which is incredibly. It's like, well, she's on the location. Of course, she's going to fight them, but that doesn't matter. You're not allowed to do anything like that anymore. So, because the scene is hindered on the reliance of some aggressive tropes, we have a problem here. So, the scene takes place in Balia, which is a fictional Middle Eastern place with ties to Black Adam, from what I understand. I don't really know too much about the Black Adam stuff and the Shazam stuff, but that's what I've found looking into this a little bit. And so, because they didn't take any time to give you social context, so they didn't sit the viewer down, assuming that they're idiots, and give them a social context for what the scene is. The movie is now racist, which is incredibly ridiculous. So anyway, here's the main problem. When he makes that deal with Maxwell, the guy in Cairo, he says, I want to get the heathens off of my ancestral land. And a big wall comes up and it separates the poor people from Cairo or Bidya. And Maxwell says, I want to take the oil, but he sold the oil. So he ends up taking his security detail to leave him with unintended consequences of his wish. And then to hope to stop him, we'll just pick up here. Deanna and Steve Trevor chase after him in his armored vehicles in a scene that's clearly influenced by the iconic truck chase in Raiders of the Lost Ark, in which Indiana tries to stop the Nazis from taking the Ark out of Egypt. Problem is, instead of fighting them, Deanna and Steve are battling Egyptian guards who are forced to defend Maxwell against their will. To her credit, though, Diana goes out of her way to avoid killing them despite having lost some of her super strength to the Dream Stone in exchange for Steve's return. In the end, she even lets them escape in order to save some kids from being run over. Now, like a normal person, I didn't see any problem with this scene when I watched it. But of course, the blue-haired writers over at CBR were probably fuming and slamming their fists onto the ground and onto the tables next to them because they, of course, are white saviors of the universe who are going to save all of the POC from being misused entertainment. So she goes on to say, that said, the bigger concern is that Wonder Woman 84 tries to use their fictional Middle Eastern country as a way to allude to sensitive real-life political issues in Egypt. However, it doesn't provide any historical or social context. This movie reduces everything involved then to a fanatical Middle Eastern stereotype as someone who's out for revenge against, as he calls them, the heathens who dare to set foot on his ancestors' lands. As a result, there's no real emotional impact when the climax of the film shows him being remorseful and renouncing his wish after hearing Diana's message to the world. So then they go on to call the Mummy racist, Indiana Jones is now racist, and all kinds of other stuff. Do you see that? Like, she still even looks good right here. Do you see the problem with it? You can't do anything in a movie now. And now here's the real joke. If you want a real joke, where is the article about what Diana did to the man's body that Steve Trevor inhabits? CBR is not writing an article about that. Doesn't really matter, I guess, because it's just a dumb old man, and dumb old men would be okay with it. They would just go with the flow. It's not really a problem because dumb old man. But you have a caravan action sequence with people from Middle Eastern descent. Oh no! You better pull the curtains back. You better beat the drums of war. Everybody better rally. We got problems then, but a real kind of moral problem, which that one sure is. You don't know what I'm talking about? Well, Steve Trevor is not really alive. Well, he's kind of alive in the movie. For some reason, he inhabits another man's body. This man has no idea what's going on, no memory, no awareness whatsoever. We don't even know where he is, his consciousness anyway. But Diana decides to hook up with Steve Trevor, who's inside this man's body. This man had no say in this, didn't say yes or no. This isn't a problem, though. Where's that CBR article on that? Huh? Where's that article on that? Spoilers, you're never gonna see one. But you see a couple on this. Uh-oh. Not an action sequence. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And I will see all of you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.